We got people who outlived insane prison sentences.
This convict outlived a life sentence. Welcome back, Charlie here. These criminals were sentenced to decades behind bars, but lived longer than their prison sentences. From people wrongly sentenced to decades in jail, to dangerous criminals set free after serving more than 70 years.
I know that's
First,
right.
we have to look at Ricky Jackson. Can you imagine being in prison for 40 years of your life
40
for a
years?
crime you didn't commit? Well, that actually happened to this man. When Ricky Jackson was only 19
That's
years
tough.
old, he was arrested for a crime he did not commit. Police said he took the life of a salesman named Harry Franks. The only evidence cops had was a witness
can't you sue them for that?
13-year-old named Eddie Vernon. Aside from that one
Like,
witness,
after all the time
there was
done?
zero physical evidence. Despite this, Ricky Jackson was found guilty. He was initially given the death.
Honestly, I don't understand how people get convicted of a crime that they didn't do. It's like, y'all gotta go to trial. Y'all gotta find evidence on who did what. So how am I convicted over something that I didn't do when there's no evidence? Y'all just saying that I did it just cause? Like, that honestly makes no sense. But I don't know though. I'm pretty sure you could sue after that. I'm not sure, but
Franks. The only evidence
I don't
cops
know.
had was a witness statement from a 13-year-old named Eddie Vernon. Aside from that one witness, there was zero physical evidence. Despite this, Ricky Jackson was found guilty. He was initially given the death sentence, but after several appeals, this was changed to a life sentence. Ricky was sent to prison in 1974. He thought he was going to die behind bars, but in 2013, the witness, Eddie Vernon, broke down in tears. Eddie admitted he did not see Ricky take the life of Harry Franks, and instead was coerced into saying this by cops. It turned out Eddie Vernon never even saw the attack take place.
Oh,
This
man.
shocking revelation meant that Ricky Jackson was finally released. He was given freedom in 2014 after spending 4 decades behind bars.
And you got him locked up and did all that time just to say that you didn't see anything? Oh man, somebody would have had an ass whooping that day, I ain't gonna lie.
But sadly, this meant he was now an old man at the time. Ricky Jackson was given $18 million in compensation.
Thank
But
God
some
he
say
got
that's
that
not
18.
enough for all of those decades lost. But would you take $18 million
My boy
to
rich,
40
hell
years of your
yeah.
life?
Nah, nah,
Personally,
nah,
I
nah,
definitely
nah.
wouldn't.
Hell no. 18 million for 40 years? Nah, I don't think nobody would do that.
On, we have to
Nobody
look at
that crazy to
Betty
do that.
Smithy. Betty Smithy is America's longest-serving female inmate. In 1963, this woman took the life of a minor.
She got a
For this
record,
crime,
literally.
She was given a life sentence. But while she was behind bars, she managed to escape 4 times, although she was caught again every time. Eventually, she decided to stop trying to escape and instead improve her life. She got educated behind bars and began writing
She
poetry.
should have helped out
In
Otavo.
2003, Betty applied for parole. She was rejected, but in 2012, she appealed again, and this time she was finally freed. She spent 49 years behind bars, but was finally made a free woman at 69 years old. Some said she should never have been released due to her crimes, but the judge believed Betty had changed behind bars. What do you think? Is 49
Nah.
years in prison enough or not?
Nah,
Moving
for what
along,
she
we
did,
have
she
to
need
look
more
at
than that.
Thomas Trantino. In 1963, Thomas Trantino got drunk. He then got into an altercation with 2 cops and ended their lives. He was arrested a few days later, and
What he had, a
was
Four
given
Loko?
the death penalty. He was on death row for 8 years until 1971. That was when New Jersey abolished the death penalty, meaning that Thomas's sentence was changed to life behind bars. While he was locked up, Thomas wrote 2 books. In 2002, he applied for parole and, surprisingly, was released. He spent 39 years in prison, making him New Jersey's longest-serving prisoner. Some people, especially cops, were annoyed that he was released. But do you think nearly 4 decades is enough for what Thomas did? Moving along, we have to look at Joseph Ligon. In 1953, 15-year-old Joseph Ligon was sentenced to life in prison. You see, Joseph had got drunk and decided to do some robberies. This caused 6 men to be injured and 2 men to lose their lives. Joseph Ligon was found guilty for what he did and was sentenced to life behind bars. Decades went by, but in 2016, the law changed. It was ruled that life sentences for juveniles were
He got a yam on his face.
unconstitutional.
That
As a
motherfucker
result,
big.
Joseph was released in 2017. He had spent 68 years behind bars, going in at age 15 and leaving at age 83. But here's the surprising thing. Although Joseph was free to go, he refused. He had spent 68 years behind bars and was too used to jail life. So instead, he preferred to stay in prison, which is where he still is to this day. Next, we have to look at Charles Ford. In 1952, this man was sentenced to life in prison and spent 64 years behind bars, all for a crime he did not commit.
Oh
He
my
was not
God.
even
Another
at the scene of
one.
the crime. He had allegedly taken someone's life. Some said that Charles was profiled by the judge and jury, meaning that despite the little evidence, he was still given a life sentence.
He got committed for a crime and he wasn't even at the scene, bro. You know how stupid, bro. Like the law is so stupid. I can't stand the law, bro.
It turned out Charles's lawyer never submitted an appeal. He was 20 when he went into prison and was 84 years old when he came out.
That's
Meaning
sad.
that he spent a whopping 64 years behind
That's his whole
bars.
life.
Charles
Literally.
was released into a nursing home as he was too old to look after himself.
Probably died like
So
2 days
while he
after
was
getting
released,
released.
he basically lost his entire life to prison. When Charles was released, he began crying in court. Next, we have to look at John Buns. This man is New York's oldest inmate. He ended the life of his wife of 17 and a half years. John Buns and his wife Virginia got into an argument. Things escalated and John used a hammer to end Virginia's life. John Buns was given a life sentence for what he did. He was said to be released when he was aged 112, but instead he was released early when he was aged 94. He was released in order to get medical care. That's because prisons find it too hard to look after people who are so old. But in 2014, at the age of 94, John Buns passed away. He is still the oldest ever inmate New York has had. Moving on, we have to look at Harvey Stewart. Harvey Stewart is a man who's been to prison many times throughout his life. In 1951, he was given a 10-year sentence for armed robbery. He was released but was soon put back in jail. This was for ending the life of a man named James Laird. Harvey Stewart escaped prison many times, but was quickly recaptured every time. He was later released in 1985 after serving only 9 years. But only 16 months later, Harvey was arrested yet again, this time for robbing a bank. This guy really does love jail. He served 59 years behind bars.
How you get
and
caught
was
for the
finally
same
released
thing that you literally just got caught for? You got it.
in 2011.
Telling you, brains
This was
don't work
mainly because of his
nowadays.
old age and declining health. He was 83 years old by the time he was released.
Or at
He
that time,
outlived
brains
all of his
didn't work.
family and friends, which meant he had no prison visits in over a decade. When Harvey Stewart was interviewed about his time in prison, he said this: "Imagine that, 60 years down in this damn hole. I wouldn't recommend it."
I mean, you
Harvey's
did the
right. He
crime,
really
do the
did waste
time.
his entire life behind bars. I think this man is proof that crime is not worth it. Next, let's look at John Franzese. John Franzese was a member of one of the USA's most deadly mafias. That is, the Colombo crime family. He soon gained a reputation as one of the mafia's most dangerous thugs. He claims to have ended over 50 lives, but he was never convicted for this. Instead, he was given a life sentence for a different crime. That was orchestrating many bank robberies around the USA. he was given 50 years behind bars. In 2011, John was released at the age of 93. In 2011, at the age of 93, John Francese was given an extra 8 years behind bars. This was for extortion and loan sharking. In 2017, he celebrated his 100-year-old birthday behind bars and was released later that year. In total, John Francese spent over 40 years in the can, meaning that he basically lost half of his life. I guess that's the price you pay when you're in the mob. Finally, let's look at James Moore. In 1962, James Moore ended the life of a 14-year-old named Pamela Moss. He was given a life sentence. While in prison, he did various jobs and also got an education. He requested to be released 20 times, but every time the judge
I'm
said
surprised
no.
he was
It
alive.
was until June of 2022. He was finally released after spending 60 years behind bars, but he is now in full-time care and had to have both of his legs amputated. Now it's time for you
That's
to make
tough,
your voice
Brody.
heard. Comment below, do you think life sentences should be allowed or not?
I don't know. For certain people in these videos, they should have got way more than life. They should have just got the death row right there. But I'm saying it is what it is. They out, some of them gone, some of them not here with us, you know. It is what it is. But WVid.